Hey there, everybody. This is Pastor Charlie. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of July, and I'm here with a midweek reflection for you. You know, Sunday morning just past, I continued that series of sermons that we have been in based on Luke's Sermon on the Plain in Luke's Gospel, chapter 6. And we read about trees and the fruit that they bear, and we read about how out of the treasure of our hearts, if it's good in there, then good comes out, and that what is in our hearts is what comes out in our words. And we had a couple of reflection questions for you. We invited you to consider what the love and grace and mercy of God has done in your heart and in your life. I asked you, what fruit is that bearing as your heart continues to be transformed by the work of the Spirit? So I hope you've had some time this week to reflect on those questions and think about your own journey as an individual follower of Christ and of Christ's impact on your heart and your life and that transforming grace that is playing out. I've been thinking about that myself, of course, thinking about what is the good fruit that this tree that God has called me to be. What is the good fruit that I can give out into the world? And I've been thinking about that this week, particularly in light of what has been going on in Texas. Of course, it's been all over our news, the devastating floods there, the very rapid nature of how they happened, and the loss of life and the loss of community life as well. All of us have had some kind of heartache attached to what we are seeing and what we're hearing reported out of that place. And I've been struck by some of the good news stories that are coming out of that. How in the aftermath of such tragedy and in the midst of such suffering, there are always those who run towards such a situation to bring help and to be help. And as I've seen those stories this week, I just keep going back to that sermon and to that text from Luke chapter 6. And I say to myself as I read these stories, gosh, good trees bear good fruit. You know what, Memorial? I believe wholeheartedly that as a church family, we represent one of those good trees that has been planted firmly in Christ and is called to bear good fruit into the world. And I see that week after week in this place, as I hear stories in our community of how the people of this church are ensuring that love shows up. It might be through the cooking and offering of a meal to someone who is hungry. It could be in the coming alongside those who are underhoused in our community to provide some relief and some service for them. Or it could be in how we gather around grieving families. I'm seeing a lot of that at the minute, where the pain of loss is real. The good tree of this church is bearing good fruit by gathering around those who are hurting. And so I want to invite you in bringing those two things together. I want to invite you to think about what it is for us to be good trees bearing good fruit in light of what has happened in Texas at this time. I am always ready to invite you to be supportive of the good work that will be done in our name and through the connection of the United Methodist Church in that place. And the local conference out there in Texas has invited us in other conferences of the United Methodist Church, if we are willing and able to make donations towards their disaster relief fund, we are invited to do that. And so I want to invite you, church, today. I'll be a part of this myself. I want to invite us collectively to be a good tree that bears good fruit by getting behind the conference out there and supporting their work of relief, which will be immediate, of course, in the immediate aftermath of this, but will also be there in the long term to help put communities back together. You can make a gift to support this work by marking a check. If you're giving us a check, you can mark it for Texas floods. If you are giving through our Vanco app, you can make a note for your gift there to make sure that it goes to that situation. Just the same note, Texas floods. Just let us know that that's where you want that money to go. You can select on our online giving, you can select the UMCOR relief and you can put that note in there to make sure that it gets to Texas. Friends, we want to be good trees that bear fruit. This is a way that we can do that in this particular moment of suffering, where our own family, the broader United Methodist Church, is impacted by what's going on here and wants to make a difference in the community where the tragedy has taken place. So please, if you're in a position to do so, please consider making a gift and being a tree that bears good fruit into the world at this time of suffering. God bless you and take care.